Some products are formulated with fillers that are heavier than the rest of the ingredients. If the viscosity is low, these fillers will begin to settle out. Such settling is minimal during the first months of shelf life, but aging can cause dispensing issues and impact desired properties. We will walk through what is happening, what it looks like, and how to spot it, and what can be done to either restore the product back to its original condition or to lessen the impact on cured properties and dispensing. As mentioned, heavy fillers in some products will settle out over time. This can form a thick paste of filler in the bottom of containers, or even a hardened cake of mostly filler. The older the material is, the more settling can occur, and the thicker and harder the mass of filler can be. At the same time, liquids in the formulation will appear to float above the settled filler. These are clear, low viscosity ingredients that customers may call water, since they do look like water. This is easiest to see with darker colored products. This also happens with products supplied in syringes and cartridges, including dual-pack sample cartridges. If these are stored tip up, you will see the clear layer near the tip. If tip down, the clear layer will be at the plunger. And if the cartridge has been stored horizontally, there will be a clear streak or line along the length of the cartridge that may be obscured by the label. The clear layer will be much lower in viscosity than expected, and while it will cure, it will not meet property specifications. The high filler layer will have a very high viscosity and could have clumps that could clog dispense lines and tips or needles. This filler settling is expected and normal, much like what you could see in a can of paint that you used part of and then let sit on a shelf for several months. Now that you have identified filler settling, it is time to take corrective actions. There are different actions to take depending on the container and how long the material has been unused. For products supplied in cans, pails, or drums, the simplest way to remix the filler is to use a pail or drum roller. Ensure the container is sealed and place it onto a roller designed for that size and weight. Rolling for 1 to 2 hours is usually sufficient. When done, stand the container back up for a few hours to let any entrapped air escape into the container headspace. Usually, no de-airing is required. For products that are closer to the end of shelf life, the settled filler may have formed a solid cake. Simple rolling may not break this up. Open the container and insert a clean rod that can reach to the bottom. Stainless steel or aluminum works very well and is less likely to cause contamination that might occur with a wooden rod. Use the rod to manually break up any solid masses in the bottom. Once that is done, you can then do the rolling operation. If the product is an open-top container, you have another option. You can more easily stir with the rod as before, or you can use a drill with a paint mixer blade to break up and stir the filler back into the solution. Be careful not to nick the container walls to avoid flakes of metal or plastic getting into the silicone. With this mixing, rolling will not be necessary. For products in cans, pails, and drums, you are done. Congratulations! The remixed material should remain usable for at least 1 month, and often for several months. If it sits longer than this, repeat the process. If the mixed material is loaded into dispense equipment that has internal reservoirs, ensure that stirring, agitation, or recirculation is continued at all times, even during production downtimes, to prevent filler settling. Products in syringes or cartridges pose a different problem since they cannot be remixed. While there are commercially available options to remix small syringes, there are none for larger cartridges or 2-part dual packs. For cartridges stored tip up, remove the cap and carefully pour out or dispense the clear liquid and discard it appropriately. If the clear liquid is less than ½ an inch or 1.2 centimeters in height, discarding it will have no significant impact on cured properties. If more than this, the contents should not be used. For cartridges stored tip down, the clear layer will be against the back plunger. Since this cannot be removed, use the container as usual. Stop using before reaching the clear liquid layer and discard the last amount of material in the cartridge. For cartridges stored horizontally, any clear layer will be all along its length. This cannot be drained off and discarded. Dispense the material through a static mixer, even if the product is a one-part material. The clear layer will remix back in quite well, and the entire cartridge contents can be used. That covers the different containers and situations where you may find filler settling and techniques to correct the situation. A question that comes up with materials that settle and are supplied in cartridges is, in what position should these cartridges be stored? There is no one way that is best for all applications. Storing tip up and discarding the clear layer in a purge cycle is the easiest for most users. The applications that will be most sensitive to filler settling are those that dispense very small shot sizes of less than 1 gram. For these, we recommend storing tip up to ensure all clear material can be removed by purging. If storing horizontally, using a static mixer is a simple solution. Storing tip down is preferred by some customers who would rather discard the clear layer while it is still in the cartridge. Filler settling is a normal condition for products with lower viscosity and heavy fillers. The fillers are easily remixed into the products in can, pail, and drum containers. In cartridges, remixing is not possible, but there are simple techniques to lessen the impact.